It's a great privilege and honor to preach in the church that I was ordained nearly 20 years ago on Father's Day. I understand it's very hot day, so my sermon is not going to be a Friday sermon. But it won't be rather good life. Whenever people are invited to preach or to say something, of course they prepare. They try to know the context, they try to understand who is who are going to the people in the congregation. I had a vague idea because quite often whenever I come to Lahore, it is never happened since I left Pakistan. I will never come to Lahore. But I am hugely thankful to the Bishop of Lahore, Revd Rana Youab, we all know each other for a long time, and that is Mr. Edmund and many other friends whom I know for a long time has been very encouragement in my own profession, in my own ministry, and who I am now. This morning we heard three readings. Interestingly, our Old Testament reading looks like it's not directly related or not very appropriate for a sermon on Father's Day. But I see and try to make a link of this reading with the day we are celebrating on the fathers. I feel sorry about I'm Father's Day son. Not because I'm Father's Day son, I feel sorry. Why do we have to celebrate days on the day, Father's Day, Teachers' Day, Students' Day, Women's Day, Older People Day? We have to celebrate these days because we want to highlight the importance of these important segments, people who are our institutions in our human societies. We just want to celebrate these days because we want to tell each other, we want to tell ourselves that how important it is to honor and to respect fathers. That's why I feel sorry for fathers, because fathers have been the strongest institution, which is the family in the world, and now is the time we have to celebrate Father's Day. Tell your father that we love you. I will start with a short story, which I read long time ago. A man who was 65 lost his father. When he was praying, he was pretty upset, came back. He was just going back in his head, remembering more that happened in the last 65 years. What happened in the last 65 years? When he was little, 2 or 3 years old, he used to think, my father is the strongest, wisest, and cleverest man on earth. When we went to the primary school, he thought, my father was so clever. My teacher is the cleverest person. She knows everything, but he knows everything. When he got teenager, when he didn't go to high school, he was pretty sure my dad doesn't know anything. It might happen when you are little to see more happy things, more difficult things, more challenging things my dad is coping with. And then you are teenager, you see many other people. And in the modern day, you go to internet and see much happiness in the world. He thought, my dad is very lovely. He doesn't know anything. He gets slow, he takes time. When we ask him to make quick decisions, he always says, and sit down and sit back. We need to think about that. And then when we say anything bad about our family, he always says, okay, just follow your family. We are there, we are there. Then I got 28. I got married, and I had a son. Who said that you don't know, Grandpa is very clever. I was listening to the stories. He was very successful. When he was of your age, you are rubbish. But Grandpa is very clever. He went abroad, he built house, he raised you, he raised my uncle and uncles, He is absolutely right. And he said, whenever we go on holidays, whenever we were in problem, my children always said, Dad, it's quite difficult to handle. Why don't you bring their grandma and ask him for advice? In the last 65 years, in ups and downs of his life, he learned so many things through his experiences, through the relationships, and especially when he himself became apart. We have heard the story of the father of the nation of Israelites, Jacob, who had 12 sons and who was the most beautiful daughter in his time. He had a big family with 2 wives and 2 concubines. 4 of them were around him. He was very rich. He had a lot of money. He had conflict with his brother from the day one, or even before he was born. But during this whole time, he finally made reconciliation with Esau's brother, came back and lived in the places which God gave him. Finally, his son was elevated to the position of the prime minister. I'm talking about Joseph. And now, this is Edmund. He invited all of his family members, all of his children, and he, by name, he blessed each one of them. And after he blessed, he just said it. The text says he died. If you read various Bibles which has headlines, this text is not about the blessings, but actually this text is about the blessing. The heading is the death of Jacob. People thought he died. His whole family thought he died. Of course, he died physically, but he lived forever and ever in the emotions, the formation, the strength, the power, and all that he gave to his brothers, his sons. And even now, when we look back, Israelites or Jews, wherever they are, they look back and see and find themselves in the midst of that blessing that Father Jacob shared with them. Jacob had a very childhood. His dad had difficult times because he and his brother Ishmael and Isaac, they were brothers. They had difficult times. Even Ishmael, dad had a difficult time. If you go back, this whole idea of sibling rivalry, brothers and sisters fighting with each other, is nurtured, supported sometimes in the family structures. When we celebrate Father's Day, we should not forget fathers never die because fathers give fathers to the world. The day when fathers will die, there will be no more life. Fathers live with us emotionally, spiritually, and by all means. When they are not with us, then we know who they were. Then we say, like the young man who was 65 and said, Dad, I just want to tell you how much I love you. You are the cleverest man on this planet. This was going to happen. Jacob was there. He is blessing his sons. And he had gone through all these terrible experiences of sibling rivalry and all sort of enmity between sibling brothers and sisters. And now he is helping his own son not to get into that. Because Joseph, his beloved son, had experienced pain, agony, and hate that is nurtured within the families. Because if one of the guys is mom's favorite or dad's favorite, what will happen? Joseph was dad's favorite. Jacob himself was mom's favorite. This idea of mom's favorite, or dad's favorite, or aunt's favorite, or nanny's favorite, or daddy's favorite can create chaos in the society, in the family. And fathers and head of the family need their mothers also their kind of head of the family role. They need to look into this deeply, that no one in their family is recognized or acknowledged as dad or mom's favorite, or someone's favorite. Because this may have very negative impact on the family. When I was reading these passages, I quite often I biblical passages from psychological point of view, because I learned psychology when I was in college. Reading a passage from social point of view, from a theological point of view, or anthropological point of view, will give a different meaning. There are various ways of reading the scripture. Sometimes we read Bible from family's perspective, sometimes we read Bible from minority perspective, this perspective, and that perspective. But reading these Old Testament wonderful stories from psychological perspective will help you to go into the mind of God, to know and to understand why these passages were written. These stories in the Old Testament, stories of sibling rivalry, brothers and sisters fighting each other, they were not written for our entertainment. This is much more deeper. These stories were written so we can look into them, we can see they were imperfect, they were not perfect dads, they were not perfect moms. But these stories were written, we read them, we listen to them, we look into them, and get some sort of inspiration and guidelines for our own families. Yes, we need to become like the army. Imitate people and all that, but at the same time, we need to understand that all the imperfect. Despite all the faithfulness, love, and compassion they showed God and God's mission, they were imperfect. Then we have a perfect model, which Jesus introduced to us. When he said, when we pray, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. When Jesus said that, he is helping us not to imitate all those imperfect people, though they were faithful, but learn from their mistakes and live a life of those people who are faithful and those who love God. And if you will look at these people, not only to imitate them, but also to learn from their mistakes, and then you will look at God, our Creator, our Father, and then you will live a godly life. You will create a family full of love, compassion, where family members will be connected to each other. In good times and in bad times, they will be offered their shoulder to lean on, their hands to hold. They will be able to wipe out their tears. This all will happen if we are able to learn from the Word of God. In this story of the Old Testament, if you read the whole chapter 49, it's beautiful. I'm just going to read 2 verses. Jacob called for his sons and said, gather around so I can tell you what will happen to you in days to come. What will happen to you in days to come? And if you read these 12 passages, 12 sons, you will be amazed how much reflective he was as dad. How much deeply aware he was of the weaknesses and strengths of his children. It might be possible they used to think our dad is not really a friendly dad. He doesn't spend time with us. He just sits all the time with elderly people and just brings sort of memory and is distant from us. But at the end of his life, when he shared these lessons with them, you will be amazed. He had a huge, deep, significant analysis of each one of them. Each one of them. I have 3 sons. If you ask me, can you say one word or one sentence that will describe one of your sons or 3 sons? It's very difficult. If I ask you what you that all years, it's not easy, but it looks like Jacob was an amazing father. He knew his children very well, more than they knew how much he reflected father he is. He was looking there, coming and going in the family, and then he opened his mouth and said, assemble and listen, sons of Jacob. Listen to your father Israel. Reuben, you are my firstborn. Simon and Levi are brothers. Judah, your brothers will praise you. Zebulun, will live by a seashore. Joseph is the fruitful vine. Benjamin is a rebellious soul. I could just name a few. And just I have read the first sentence for the blessings he gave to each one of them. It's a beautiful chapter. I think each one of us, mothers or dads, we just need to engage with our children in a way that we know who they are. And on the day when God called us to bless them, we not only are blessing or praying for them and using these heavy theological words that anyone can use for anyone. We just pray for them by telling them how much we know you. You may not be aware of how much I analyze your personality if you read this whole chapter, as I said, from psychological perspective, not from theological knowledge or from social perspective, from psychological perspective, you will know how brilliant Father was. He knew his son. He knew his son very well. This is the way that the legacy of faith Jacob left behind. This is a prophetic chapter. He is telling them, I'm going to tell you what you are going to be. The Father is telling them through the blessings. Jacob is telling his brethren, to Marshall, to John, and to other brothers. These blessings are not only words I'm saying. These blessings are reflection and expression of my intimate, deep intimacy, relationship with you. But also these prayers tell me how much I love you, how much I know you, and today I tell you who you are going to be. Through these prayers and blessings, He is preparing them for the future. And through these blessings and prayers, He is honoring Father's role. Our New Testament reading from St. Paul's letter to Trinity again tells a wonderful relationship that Paul had with Timothy. He was not his son, but quite often he addressed my son, my spiritual son. Many people know the importance of mentors, spiritual guides, spiritual fathers, foster fathers, life fathers, father-in-law, godfathers, grandfathers. How much these people have contributed as human in the life of others. Yesterday, I was in the Revd to take my son to his grandfather's grave. I took him to the grave of his grandfather, but at the same time to the grave of a man who was not my father, but he knew me very well. Even he knew me more than my father. He was the first man who said to me, you should become a priest. It looks like he knew me more than I knew myself. I'm talking about Mr. Yadav, who used to live at one soul, and on his way there, Bishop Sahib also served for some time. At his main door, he used to Sayyid Yadav and the Roshari Ji. How much confidence, love, and compassion for that he shared with me. So that was still, when I look back and see how amazing it can be, someone who knows you more than you know yourself. Then, of course, all those people who contributed to me. When I came for the meditation with Aunt, he was like my elder brothers, but the way he nurtured me, supported me, it is still one of the things which I always go back and enjoy. A parable from the Gospel is known as the parable of the prodigal son. It can also be as a parable of a faithful son. But we do not focus on the prodigal for those who are lost. We sometimes miss those people who are with us. He had two sons. And this whole chapter, Luke chapter 15, is a amazing. Jesus shared three parables. A parable of a lost sheep, a parable of a lost coin, and a parable of a lost son. In these three parables, reading these parables from mathematical perspective or from the perspective of a commentary can be amazing. First parable, a man had 100 sheep, he lost one. How much was the loss? 10%. 1%. 1 out of 100, 1%. A woman had 10 coins. She lost 1. The loss was 10%. A man had 2 sons. He lost 1. The loss was 50%. 50%, 10%, 1%. The man who lost 50%, what was he? He was at home, crying, weeping, and at the same time praying. When the son came, the other son who was loving, faithful, kind, obedient, great, but he lost one virtue, maybe because of simply right, because of something which always exists among siblings. He was not happy. Why father had accepted him to give? Because he was not a father. He was brother. When you become a father, you know what does father mean. When you have invested something in someone's life, you may not be physical father, or spiritual father, mental, or something else. This morning, we thank God for all that God has done in our life, and I would like to thank God for all the fathers, spiritual fathers, godfathers, mentors, trainers, and especially those people who have contributed in others' life, who they are not fathers, but they have built them, helped them, and supported them. I pray in the leadership of Bishop Kamran, the Diocese of Flourish, and many young people will see him as a father figure. Many people will come and will be inspired by the ministry God has given him. Thank you very much, Mr. Staff, and you will be your God bless you and give you and happy Father's Day.